Hello, you guys. Today I wanted to talk about scripting. I will tell you about my experience with scripting, how I manifested things with scripting, what made such a difference, what didn't work, and also I will tell you how you can empower your scripting, your routine, if you may, so that you actually have results and fun doing it. Yes, because so often I notice this, of course, in myself. Yes, I am my first subject zero, and my friends and my clients. Sometimes when you really want something and you're doing the techniques and everything and it's just not happening, it's just disheartening. Yes, so we want to bring back fun and enjoyment here, and of course the results. So what is scripting? Scripting is basically taking a notebook, a pen, and writing either affirmations, a scene, downloads, something half channeled. Either way, you are engaging in an activity of writing something that is supposed to produce your desired result, which is your manifestation. And in my experience, scripting worked the best when I approached this as a world building, not just mechanical parroting, writing 100 times, I'm rich, he loves me, whatever. But actually sitting down, building up this welling up intention in you, this world and new mindscape, new landscape that you want to create, and pouring your heart out to the paper. And it's just uncanny how well it works when you actually do this with full heart, full intention. It's really scary how well it works. And when I did this, like mechanically parroting, just writing affirmations because I had to, nothing. And I can tell you, I found somewhere in my books, in my things, an old notebook of my mom from her school days, where she was also affirming, writing these robotic affirmations, yes, repeating. And well, I know how it played out for my mom, and I could tell that even though she wrote these affirmations, it didn't work out because it was written in this robotic form. So maybe for some it works, but for me, I found it didn't. It's just I couldn't even, I could skip this and it wouldn't make any difference. That's why right now when I script, I make sure that it's like as if I was writing a book, because I love writing. I've been writing since I was 13 years of age, and yeah, it just brings me joy. It really gets me into the groove, into the zone. And there was one time where I manifested something by chance. I wasn't planning on manifesting it, but because I poured so much heart into this, I was writing a fictional story. Some weeks later, it actually came true. It unfolded. Even though I was writing this in a science fiction setting, it wasn't me in the story and it wasn't the person in the story. Still, it just came. Yes, every little detail that I wrote there just came. And I remembered about this much later, yes, quite recently, and I realized, damn, I'm not tapping into this skill of mine. So how about we uncover this again and make this powerful again? I do write affirmations. Yes, not a story, like a storyline where I really get into the, into the head of my character and just totally immerse myself in this. But also I used to write just emphatical affirmations, not parotically repeating them, but really like writing this and imagining this scene, this standalone scene. And also, I found my manifestation notebook from that time, and I kid you not, even though at the time it seemed impossible, improbable, it came true. To every detail that I could wish for, that I wrote there, it came true. So if you are naturally a storyteller, a writer, use this. Why it is so powerful? Because it doesn't matter what technique it is, what you want and what ignites this manifestation sequence of making things from your imagination to being shown to you, manifested, revealed in the 3D world, is the emotional charge that you are building within yourself. And it happens very powerfully when you immerse yourself in this scene. If you are writing something for 1 hour, yes, if you also have this experience as a writer, that you just have this idea, and not only you write all the time and you do it with joy because it gives you joy to come up with, or rather the characters and the story line comes to you, it just gives you joy to keep exploring the plot, to keep living the story with the characters, and you think about it after you finished writing and before you started writing. So it's like all the time, the landscape is alive within you. And this is exactly manifesting consciously. Yes, you are emitting a frequency. You could very well just do the imagination, the being immersed. But there is something, laser focusy, powerful when you sit, write, and like undivided attention for an hour. You are in this world. You are world building. I encourage you that if you love writing and if you feel affinity with so-called scripting, give it a shot. Treat this as if you were writing an exciting novel. Yes, a story. You can even make yourself a character, and of course invite other characters if you want them, and just let your heart lead, not your head, your heart. What would you love to see? What would make you most happy? Well, when my fanfiction that I was writing manifested in the real world, in the 3D world, I spent 2 weeks writing a sequence of stories, because it wasn't just one fanfiction. I was totally in the zone. It was winter break, Christmas break, my favorite time of the year. It's cold and dark and it's still, and everyone is too cold to cause any mental environment disturbances. Anyway, I love Christmas time, and it was then that I just had time to immerse, and every day I would write for several hours. Of course, you don't have to, but if you can sustain this undivided attention on your desire, which is basically what conscious manifestation is, I guarantee that you will see the results. There's one but. If you can do this without expectation, yes, because what I was doing, I was writing with pure joy. I wasn't even, consciously manifesting anything. Of course, I knew Neville Goddard, etc., Abraham Hicks, absolutely, but I didn't have any urgent, let's say, need, as if sometimes we need money, like I need money by tomorrow, or I need him to call me or I will go crazy. No, I was doing this from the state of, oh my God, this is fascinating, and I want to milk this state, and I want to immortalize this state of being that I have. So I would encourage you to drop the excess potential, get yourself into the pure enjoyment of the state and the scene that you are creating, and write from that state. Write your heart out. You don't have to tell anyone that you are doing this, and you can even, trick your conscious mind that, hey, we want this thing, whether the money, the job, the business, the person, whatever. We want, I know, I honor your needs. I honor that you are desperate, maybe. But hey, I'm going to indulge myself in this pleasurable writing activity, and maybe something will come out of it, maybe not, but my goal is to just have fun. Do you think we can have fun? And if you ask your personal mind this, it will be, it will feel included in the equation, and it will be more cooperative, and it won't bug you with, signed line, hey, we are doing this manifestation technique, it better work. It will go on the vacation, and you will have an easier job on just doing the writing and enjoying yourself and building up this, this potential, this field of magnetism that will draw the best things to you. So I want you to try this. I want you to have fun, and I want you to tell me of your results. And if you would love to be guided in the art of co-creation and building up and integrating your feminine power your feminine authority. Links to work with me are in the description box below. I'll see you around.